MTS Center. It is game 2 of a 3-game homestand. It is game 2 of 4 straight against Central Division opponents. And Andre Pavlik gets the start against the Avs.
Rebound score! The Jets come right back. Lowry in front for Thornburg scores! Jacob Trouba rips it from the line. What a play by Dustin Buffalo.
6 games without a win. The Winnipeg Jets look to get back into the win column tonight as they take on the Colorado Avalanche. It is the 4th meeting of the season between these two teams, and the Jets have picked up 5 of a possible 6 points so far. Good evening, everyone. It is the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. One lineup change for the Winnipeg Jets. Adam Lowry is down with the flu. He will not play in this game. Jim Slater will go up in between Michael Frolik and Chris Thorburn, and it will be Patrice Cormier, who was recalled a few days ago, and he will get into that lineup with Gagliardi and Anthony Peluso. Jets are coming off the loss to Chicago, an overtime loss. As we look at the standings, Nashville winning this afternoon, Chicago winning this afternoon, and the Winnipeg Jets still hanging on to that first wild card spot. Calgary, Minnesota, Los Angeles, Colorado, and Dallas all in the chase in the Western Conference. Down between the benches, we say good evening to Shane Hnidy. Winnipeg Jets are coming off back-to-back overtime losses. Shane, what have they done better?
Well, they've been a lot better throughout the whole 60-minute game. They've talked about wanting to look a certain way, especially defensively. They've been a lot better in their own zone, not as much running around. They've settled things down. They've played good. They just haven't got the results, but their game is on the right track.
Mark Scheifele coming off the game against Chicago where he scored the Jets' goal. He had a good game.
Yeah, Mark Scheifele had a great game. Played over 20 minutes, +1, opened up the scoring. And for Mark Scheifele, a lot of it begins with his skating, moving his feet. Young players, sometimes they tend to slow up, and when they do, that's when the problems start for them. But the more he skates, he has that speed element, that quickness to his game, getting in on pucks, get in on the forecheck, create turnovers. When he can do that, move his feet, go to the net, and shoot the puck. He has that good shot. He was snake bitten a little earlier in the year. Couldn't find the back of the net. He was focused on defense. He's done a good job in his own end, but it's about that transition for him. Playing with a guy like Perreault, who's creative, and Dustin Buffalo now on his right side. He brings that element of speed to that line up the middle.
Colorado Avalanche have had trouble scoring. The guy that leads them in goals is the veteran Jarome Iginla.
Well, and should we really be surprised? Jarome Iginla just doesn't seem to slow down. 30 goals last year with Boston. This year he's leading them with 16. He's been good against the Winnipeg Jets. He's scored 3 goals in the last 2 games he's played against the Winnipeg Jets, 2 of them coming in this building. So Iginla has that great shot coming down the wing. The ability to score from so many different areas. When you score that many goals over a career, you know how to get lost, you know how to find the open space, you know how to create separation, and then you have a knack for finding the back of the net. Jarome Iginla does all of that with the best in the league.
Chicago came in with back-to-back shutouts against them. Colorado comes in suffering back-to-back shutouts. They lost at home to Detroit, and they lost last night in Minnesota by a score of 1-0. To ice level we go for tonight's national anthems.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Remove your hats and welcome your Winnipeg Jets own Stacey Nattrass for the singing of tonight's national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous us fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Winnipeg Jets player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Dan McNeely of Regina could win $1 million. Shop at Safeway. You could be our next lucky winner. Winnipeg Jets and Colorado Avalanche. Tonight's starting goaltenders brought to you by Subway Restaurants. Get your favorite sub made just the way you like it. Subway. Eat fresh. Semyon Varlamov will make his 10th straight start. That is a new career high for him. And Andrei Pavlik 1-0-1 against Colorado this year will get the start for the Winnipeg Jets. The referees are Ian Walsh and Chris Rooney. The linesmen are Steve Barton and Andy Mackelman. And the Jets start with Slater, Thorburn, and Michael Frolik. Again, Adam Lowry not in the lineup. He is out with the flu, and Slater will go between Thorburn and Frolik. And missing from our TSN lineup, Sarah Orlesky, upper body, day to day. No, a little bit down, under the weather. Sarah would get back in a hurry. Trouba plays it around the boards in his own zone. Tyson Berry back in the lineup for Colorado. Tried to center it up front, grabbed off by Michael Frolik. He'll get to center, slips this into the Colorado zone, and the teams make their first line change of the game.
Well, I like the way the Jets came off. Other than that opening draw, just a quick play up the boards. They really want to get on the D of the Colorado Avalanche. Well, Jim Slater moving up in the lineup without Lowry out, wins the draw right back. Quick play, Trouba just up the boards, chipped to open ice, speed by Slater, tries to get it towards the net, but that's what the Jets want to do, that north-south that game with some speed, especially that line. Slater, Thorburn, Frolik, keep moving that puck ahead and attack.
Face-off win by Brian Little. Bogosian for Toby Enstrom. Blake Wheeler in the corner. Wheeler into the slot looking for Little. The last game the Avs played in here, Brian Little had the hat trick. Back into his own zone, Bogosian. His pass rattles off a skate, kept in by the Avs and then knocked away from Tanguay, but kept in at the blue line by Stewart. Gimlet tried to center. Wheeler is there to break it up, and now Bogosian will chip it off the boards. Brian Little is without a stick. Gets to center ice no further. Here comes Alex Tanguay, drops it for Iginla. Save made by Pavlik. Rebound in front of the net. So Andre Pavlik makes his first good save of the evening against the Avs' top scorer. Jerome Iginla had his stick knocked out of his hand, and he glares back at the official as he makes his way to the Avs bench. Stewart clears it in. Varlamov. Nick Holden for the Avs, on for McKinnon. McKinnon's pass for Tanguay. Tanguay will send it in. Ryan O'Reilly in on the forecheck. O'Reilly giving chase on Mark Scheifele. Slipped up the boards. Bufflin is after it. Jan Hayda pinches in from the line. McKinnon holds it in, and the floating backhander into the catching glove of Pavlik.
Well, Andre Pavlik with a big save off Iginla, who's still complaining about the stick coming out of his hands. Just a little drop play from Tanguay. Again, a little toe tuck. Lets the shot go. Pavlik out to challenge right at the top of the blue paint. Takeaways the angle. Doesn't give Iginla much to shoot at. Him make the save. The rebound cleared out in front of Andre.
NHL game 1,364 for Iginla, who gets stopped by Andre Pavlik on that scoring opportunity. Gagliardi ahead for Anthony Peluso, and Patrice Cormier, who has been recalled a few times this season, finally gets his first game of the season in the National Hockey League. Jan Hayda, and Cormier comes across and gives him a bump. Kept in by the Avs. Sharp angle chance for Briere, stopped by Pavlik, and Ben Sherratt will skate it out. Sherratt to the line and in. Sherratt pulls up, tees it up, and that goes off Jan Hayda and wide. Cleared up the boards. Adam Party against Briere. Jets will hold it in. Ripped from the line by Anthony Peluso off the stick and wide. Big collision as Redmond got taken to the backboards hard by Slater. Frolik is in on the forecheck. Cleared past him. And the Jets will chase it back into their own zone.
Well, for Jim Slater, even though he's a veteran, opportunity here for a little extended ice with Lowry out of the lineup.
Slater sends it in, and now we've got Cody McLeod and Chris Thorburn in behind the play with the gloves off. So Chris Thorburn drops the mitts in back-to-back games after having the battle against Carcillo on Friday. Thorburn in with some right hands. McLeod trying to come back with a couple of rights. And the linesman will move in, and Chris Thorburn will become the franchise leader in penalty minutes as he will jump ahead of Eric Bolton.
Well, he'll take that award away from his good buddy and old teammate Eric Bolton as him and McLeod exchange some shots. This happened behind the play, away from the puck. But the Jets have picked it up a little physically, had a couple big hits. Patrice Cormier mentioned in his first game this season with the Jets. Good finish on Jan Hayda coming on the back check, and then Jim Slater with a big hit on his former teammate Zach Redmond on the forecheck. Little example of how the Jets are going to have to play the Colorado defense in this game. They want to be hard on them. They want to be physical.
So would that have brought the response from Cody McLeod, or is it a case where they played back-to-back? And coming in from Minnesota last night, he felt they needed a bit of a spark.
Well, possibly, or maybe the Manitoban has friends and family here and just wants to get into the game.
Keys to the game brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the NHL.
Well, for the Winnipeg Jets, they're heading down the right path. They need to stay the course. They need to continue to play the game they have the last couple games. Haven't got the results, but they're doing things the right way. For the Colorado Avalanche, shutout in 2 games in a row. They've been shut out 8 times this season. They've got goal scorers. They need to find a way to bear down in front of that net, finish their opportunities.
Colorado, as far as goals for, fewest in the Central Division, 134. Tyson Barrie, who's been out the last 2 games, back in the Colorado lineup. They'll welcome his offense back. Duchesne plays this off the backboards in the Jets zone. Ladd, watched by Iginla. Came to the front of the Jets net, grabbed off by Bogosian. Bogosian sends this cross ice. Toby Enstrom has a little bit of room. Duchesne closes in on him. Deflected into the Colorado zone. Varlamov comes out to play it. Varlamov faced 17 shots in the opening period last night in Minnesota, but kept his team in. Very cross ice, and that got tipped away by Trouba before it got to Iginla. Out at center, no further for the Jets. Pavlik leaves for Mark Stewart. For Jacob Trouba. Through the middle, Matthew Perreault. The clean-shaven Matthew Perreault couldn't get it into the Colorado zone. Shot from the left side by Ryan O'Reilly, kicked away by Ondrej Pavlik. Off a leg and back into the Colorado zone. Scheifele's after it, and Varlamov will jump on it and hang on.
Well, two quick 3-on-2s from the Colorado Avalanche, an area where they can be very dangerous. The Jets have to be careful. They have the ability for the quick transition. Couple plays, couple bad reads. Byfuglien comes down. Quick 3-on-2 the other way. Barrie so good at joining the rush. Finds Iginla, but it's just out of his reach.
Slater back out. Along with Frolik, and now Gagliardi on that left side with Thorburn in the penalty box. Adam Pardy is in from the line. For Slater. Slater tried to center. It's off a leg. And ricochets back out to center ice. Sherratt for Frolik and right back into the Colorado zone. Marc-Andre Cliche back into his own end for the Avs. Cleared out at center, trying to get that to Maxim Talbot. That failed to materialize, and Sherratt takes him from Pardy and back into the Colorado zone, but this will be icing called against the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, Michael Frolik has moved up and down the lineup. He's played with different guys, and again, he has some different line mates tonight, but so good at whoever he does. He does those details of the game. I like what Jim Slater, you can see a little extra hop in his step here early in this hockey game, probably looking forward here, moving up to that third line center position.
Jets in a 3-game homestand. Minnesota here on Tuesday. And boy, as big as this game is, that one on Tuesday, the Minnesota Wild have won 5 straight. What an acquisition Devan Dubnyk has been for them. Tyson Barrie, watched by Michael Frolik. Ben Sherratt takes the loose puck. Sherratt floats it cross ice. It lands on the stick of Slater, and Slater backhands it deep in that line to the bench on the change. John Mitchell, the long lead pass off the stick of Wheeler. Bogosian up for Wheeler with some speed for Ladd. Just off the blade of Andrew Ladd. Mitchell to the backboards he goes. Wheeler gives him chase. In from the line, Bogosian. Brian Little's going to try and hold it in, and he does for Wheeler, and he'll spin this back in behind the Avs net. Andrew Ladd is after it. Ladd in a collision there with Brad Stewart. Battle in the corner. Ladd gets up and gets right back into the fight. Grabbed off by the Avs, and it's banked off the boards and out to center ice by Everberg. Back into the Jet zone. Enstrom. Slowly to center for Wheeler. Wheeler tried a little redirect pass. Duchesne breaks it up. Bogosian, Enstrom, Scheifele, watched by Iginla. Banked off the boards by Brad Stewart. To the line, Scheifele breaks it up for Byfuglien. Quick pace to this game. Bogosian looks for a little skating room, taken away by Tanguay, and then Scheifele down low to help out. Back for Bogosian. Off the boards for Matthew Perreault. He'll swing it rink wide. Off the skates of Scheifele. Scheifele will track it down. Elects not to dump it in. Finds Perreault near side. He'll drop it for Mark Stewart. The shot to the far side. That just missed. Stewart with 1 goal on the season. It came in the season opener. In behind the Avs net, a battle, and now Redmond knocked Scheifele into the back of the goal. Stewart pinches at the line and holds it in, and Ryan O'Reilly will skate it out. O'Reilly in on Trouba, slides it through. Landeskog couldn't pick it up cleanly. Into the high slot for Nate MacKinnon, away from him, and Dustin Byfuglien will get this back to the Avs line. Jets took 6 minutes and 49 seconds for their first shot on goal, despite the fact they've spent some time in the Avs zone. Slater back to the line for Sherratt. Cross ice Party. Quick shot deflected. Good save by Semyon Varlamov. Chopped down the ice by Gabe Landeskog. Nate MacKinnon on his horse. That negates the icing. And now MacKinnon and Adam Pardy, a couple of Eastern Canadian guys. They go down, or Maritime guys, I guess we'll take it even further east. And this is offside called at the line. No score. Little redirect that forces Varlamov to make a good stop. Jets on TSN, brought to you by the 2015 Toyota RAV4. Let's play.
Well, Dustin Byfuglien still up front for the time being here for the Winnipeg Jets with that injury to Evander Kane now in his third game. Last game, played over 19 minutes, had 5 hits, 4 shots on goal. He leads this team in hits second right behind Adam Lowry, but he was a force last game. Felt he had more jump in his legs and felt more comfortable there in his second game being back on forward, and feels it'll start to come, especially chemistry with his line mates.
Face off at the Colorado line. Gagliardi giving chase. Frolik on the far side giving chase. But the Avs will clear. Ben Sherratt chops it out quickly. Cleach will put this back into the Jet zone. Avs have to clear, and that gives Ben Sherratt a little bit of room to come to center. Sherratt will fire it in, and offside as Frolik might have been trying to get out of the way of that dump in from Ben Sherratt.
Well, I think he was trying to find a safe route to take as Sherratt was trying that hard rim into the ice. It's been a bit of a choppy game, and Dennis, we saw this against Chicago where it was really close, hard-fought battles, and you're going to see that at this time of year. And here's Frolik, covers his face. First thing he does, hand to the face, covers the face as he gets out of the way, but crosses the blue line.
Yelling back, hey, I'm a teammate. Don't need friendly fire.
No.
Andrew Ladd in on the forecheck, kept in, deflected to the front of the net by Wheeler. Duchesne is after it, in from the line is Bogosian. The forecheck gets the turnover. Ladd to the front of the net, Wheeler with the redirect. Little. Nate Gennon is after him. Bogosian gets the puck back in behind the Avs net. Duchesne off the glass and outer to Bisco, clean out. Power play coming for the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, this is clean out. As Duchesne just trying to get rid of the puck, flips it right over the glass. And you can tell by the look on his face, he knows exactly what he did. Chance right before that. Good pinch by Bogosian as Duchesne bails out of it as Bogosian goes for the hit. Turnover to Andrew Ladd. He tries to find Wheeler going to the net. Little redirect as Wheeler just deflects that wide, but a power play for Winnipeg.
Jets power play operating at 17%, only 2 power play goals in the last 8 games. Colorado's penalty kill over 83%. And Dustin Byfuglien, who leads the Jets in power play time at just under 4 minutes, is out on that right point. Andrew Ladd tried to pull the trigger. That got blocked and it's cleared, and back forward Ryan O'Reilly for the Avs. Byfuglien gets there first, gets it to Wheeler and on to Matthew Perreault. Brad Stewart is the top penalty killer for the Avs. Wheeler back to the line, time-wise, back for Little. Little's cross-ice pass, that got picked off. Maxim Talbot back for the Avs. Talbot trying to cut around Byfuglien. Byfuglien knocked it off his stick. Talbot stays with it though, centers it, comes back to the line, but it got away from Stewart. And the Avs will have to clear the zone. Dustin Byfuglien, third on the Jets in power play points with 11. Toby Enstrom chases it down, collision in behind the net. Stewart ends up on top of Mark Scheifele, and somewhere under the pile is the puck, and that'll bring about a stoppage.
Well, Colorado very aggressive and not afraid to take the puck down in the ice, and almost Maxim Talbot with a good little play follows it to the corner. Both Little and Byfuglien going, but they both turn away from the puck, allow Talbot to walk out front, but a good back check by Wheeler as he gets on the stick of the Avalanche defender who's ready for the shot right in that high slot. Little communication as both players read that wrong.
Adam Lowry, again, we'll mention this, out of the lineup with the flu. Like Paul Maurice saying, there's a few other players that are not 100% today. And we continue to see that around the National Hockey League. Jonathan Bernier out of the lineup for Toronto last night with the flu. Trouba back for Toby Enstrom. Enstrom with 30 seconds in the power play finds Scheifele. Scheifele takes it wide, got spilled there by Jan Hejda. Hejda and Scheifele continue the battle. Back to the blue line, Thorburn for Trouba. For Scheifele, back for Trouba. Down low it goes. Controlled by Enstrom, now to Trouba, deflected! And Varlamov got the blocker up, but it sailed over top the open side. Frolik trying to get it back to the line, and Cody McLeod breaks it up. We mentioned Chris Thorburn eliminating the franchise penalty minutes mark held by Eric Bolton. Of course, it was against the Avalanche that Brian Little became the Jets player to pick up a hat trick. Since Eric Bolton's, there's a penalty coming up to the Winnipeg Jets. It's going to be a hooking call. Out in the neutral zone. Iginla into the slot, score! Tyson Barrie with all sorts of traffic in front of the Jets net. And on the delayed penalty with 6 men on the ice, the Colorado Avalanche have tied the game, or taken the lead, 1-0.
Well, Tyson Barrie has been jumping up in the rush ever since the puck dropped in this hockey game. He is back in the lineup, and a big boost for the Colorado defense as he absolutely rips this high blocker side on Ondrej Pavelec. Avalanche so quick in transition, able to get up the ice right in the high slot. Barrie with the shot, able to put it up over that right shoulder of Ondrej Pavelec. And see all the Jets players back. 4 Jets in the picture, but Barrie's still able to let it go from the top of the circles.
All those players in front, it's amazing that puck got through.
Well, he found a way, not only found a way to get it through, to put it in a perfect spot.
6 on the year for Tyson Barrie. Avs are minus Eric Johnson, who was having a terrific season. 12 goals for Eric Johnson before he went out with a knee injury. And this is his 6th game that he's been out. McKinnon through center ice, so after scoring the game's opening goal in 3 straight games, the Jets surrender the opening goal to Colorado. And after getting shut out in back-to-back games, the Avs get on the board. Landeskog bounces it into the Jet zone. Landeskog and Stewart to the backboards. They bump. Trouba up the wall. Chopped away by Ladd, but kept in at the line by Zach Redmond. Redmond gets away from a bit of a grab there from Ladd. Save made by Pavelec, and here comes Wheeler. Wheeler into the high slot. Gets it back. Dishes it off for Scheifele. In for Perreault. Quick shot. Good save. Back at the line, Scheifele tees it up. Varlamov saw it at the last second and got the blocker in front of that. Perreault to the line for Bogosian. Down for Byfuglien. He tees it up, and another save by Varlamov. Redmond in the corner. It's turned over. Matthew Perreault through some traffic off the leg and wide. Jan Hejda trying to bounce it out, gets it to center, and here comes Iginla. Avs are changing though, so Iginla's all by his lone. Iginla stays with it though until the Avs complete the change. Tyson Barrie looking for a lane. Scheifele stays with Barrie. Duchesne, cross ice for Nate Gennon, and he fired it totally opposite the way, but way wide on the far side. So much room on the near side. Pressure now for Iginla. The shot blocked by Perreault, and he's hurt. Back to the line for Barrie, and to the front of the net. Tanguay couldn't pick it up. Byfuglien and Barrie. Remember in an earlier game in this building that Dustin Byfuglien put the shoulder into Barrie. Shot by Duchesne, whistled that one high. Back at the line, kept in by Holden. Trouba for Slater. Slater mishandled the puck. Chases it back into his own zone for Trouba. Michael Frolik deflects this into the Colorado zone. Thorburn in on the forecheck. Frolik has the puck. Slater out front. Round the boards for Adam Pardy. Pardy is bumped there by Cody McLeod. Sherratt jumps in from the line. Takes a bump from Everberg. Everberg and Frolik collide in the corner. Brad Stewart, watched by Frolik, leaves it there for John Mitchell.
Well, you wouldn't know the Avalanche played last night. They sure have a lot of jump here in this game. And you mentioned the play Cody McLeod with Chris Thorburn maybe trying to set a tone for his team early.
Anthony Peluso. McLeod after him. Shot to the short side off the side of the net. Grabbed off by Mitchell. The shot blocked by TJ Gagliardi. Gagliardi, a Colorado draft pick back in 2007. Gagliardi gives chase. Patrice Cormier in his first game of the year. Down for Gagliardi, trying to spin away from Zach Redmond. At the line, Bogosian the blast, that went wide. Enstrom for Cormier, for Anthony Peluso. Peluso spins it back all the way near side for Enstrom, who jumps in. Enstrom trying to get it down low. They pile into the corner. Danny Briere is there. Enstrom in the battle. Taking it is Gagliardi. Gagliardi watched by Jan Hejda. Jan Hejda in his 600th NHL game tonight. Anthony Peluso drops it back for Toby Enstrom. Enstrom around the net to the front. Tried to go to the short side. Blocked it away by Varlamov. Talbot trying to clear. Bogosian holds it in. Gagliardi with Talbot after him. The Jets get a line change in. Redmond out to center ice for Briere. As Briere sends this into the Jet zone and then makes his way to the Colorado bench. 1-0 on a goal by Tyson Barrie. Andrew Ladd, the wrist shot, that went wide. Out to center ice and back into the Jet zone. And icing against Colorado.
Well, real good shift by the Winnipeg Jets. Gagliardi, Peluso, Cormier, they were on the ice, extended offensive zone time, just cycling the puck, wearing down the Avalanche. And after that goal, a couple big hits. It started with their captain, Ladd, in on Holden with a big finish, and Buffalo tries to take Barrie. And as you mentioned, that big hit by Buffalo on Barrie earlier in the year.
Trouba for Andrew Ladd. Ladd puts his back in behind the Colorado net. Wheeler goes after it. Wheeler with 20 points in 13 career games against the Avs. Trouba plays it to an open side, and Ryan O'Reilly will gather it in. Ryan O'Reilly in his 399th NHL game, but he turns it over. Quick shot by Bufflin. Blocker save there by Varlamov. At center for McKinnon. In the game that the Avs won in overtime, it was McKinnon who had the overtime winner against the Jets. Scheifele, but the Jets do have 5 of 6 points this season against Colorado. Bufflin sends it in. After it, Perreault tried to get it back to Scheifele. Tyson Barrie sends McKinnon away. McKinnon across the line, lets the wrist shot go, blocked by Enstrom and grabbed off by Scheifele. Scheifele rink wide for Perreault. Perreault seems to be okay after blocking a Jarome Iginla shot earlier in the period. Left side now for Slater. Slater is after it against Nate Gennon. Slater comes up with it. Slater off the corner boards, in for Frolik. Save made. Slater on the rebound. Tried to get it back to Frolik. Play whistle down. Penalty coming up. And the Winnipeg Jets will get their second power play of the hockey game.
Closed captioning is delivered by Pizza Hotline. Order the hotline heavy tonight. Big taste, small price.
Well, real good shift from Jim Slater. Helps draw this penalty and gives his team a chance for the power play. Gets down on the icing. Battle in the corner. Great little feed to the high slot as he spins off the check from Iginla. Finds for a leak. And then as he's going behind the hook by Iginla, there's the call, and the Jets with their second chance here in the man advantage.
Jarome Iginla over 1,300 games played. He has 1,200 NHL points. And to show you how tough he plays the game, one of the reasons that Patrick Roy and the Avs went out and got him, 923 career penalty minutes for Jarome Iginla. At the line, kept in by Bufflin. Bufflin's shot blocked in front of the net. Second power play of the game for the Jets. The Avs goal came on a delayed call. Bufflin's shot goes off a stick and high. Holden chops it around, waiting for it. Perreault for Ladd, for Bufflin, for Little. Slap shot, save made, Varlamov. And he hangs on, and now Hejda and Ladd at the side of the net.
Well, a lot better puck movement on this power play to start it off by Winnipeg. Support by Ladd in the middle. That helped Perreault with a tricky puck along the boards. The rim play, Ladd comes for support. 2 quick passes right to Brian Little, and then the shot to the net. Wheeler off to the side for the rebound.
Dustin Bufflin down for Brian Little. Jets on the power play. Wheeler looking backdoor for Perreault, and it went off a skate. Wheeler back for Perreault. Andrew Ladd jumps on the loose puck, comes near side for Brian Little. Little with pressure coming in for Ladd off the skate, couldn't catch up to it, and that will allow Marc-Andre Cliche for the Avs to drop it there for Maxim Talbot. Talbot goes cross ice, Nick Holden joins the attack, and it's turned over and the Jets start back. In behind everyone is Michael Frolik, and Frolik as Hayter got back to tie him up. Great back check by Jan Hayes. Frolik never did get that puck to settle down.
Well, not only a good play, but it is a good job not taking a penalty on that back check.
Frolik with 43 seconds in the power play, wrist shot wide. Scheifele after it. Frolik to the far side with John Mitchell. Back at the line for Jacob Trouba. Trouba for Enstrom, for Frolik, trying to get it back to Enstrom, and John Mitchell breaks it up. Scheifele takes the cross ice pass in for Frolik. Frolik gets tied up. Scheifele trying to slip it back to the line, does. Enstrom. Watched there by Tanguay. Down for Trouba. Trouba plays it low. Brad Stewart knocks it away. Penalty now coming up to Chris Thorburn. And that will negate the remainder of the power play. And then the Avs will get their first power play of the game.
Well, the Jets do a good job getting some opportunity, getting some pressure here on this power play, but now they'll be shorthanded for the remainder after Iginla steps out of the box. Thorburn goes in the corner, little battle, and just a quick little hold on the stick to Ginnon, and Thorburn will go to the box.
Face-off will come all the way back into the Winnipeg Jets zone. The shot's 9-5 in favor of the Jets, as they had one time trailed 4 shots to 1, so they have now outshot the Avs 8-1. But the Avs, Tyson Barrie on a delayed penalty to the Jets with the game's only goal. Nathan MacKinnon, cross ice pass got blocked. Power play now for Colorado. And their power play has been a bit of a struggle for them this year. 29th in the league. Pavlik, big save off Iginla. Iginla centers it, grabbed off by Andrew Ladd. What a save by Pavlik on the Avs power play.
All right, I've talked about the struggles. They've been 0 for 24 over the last 8 games. And a nice play, and Iginla with a chance, but Pavlik with the save.
Dropped at the line. Barrie plays this down low. MacKinnon back for Iginla. Iginla the shot, that goes off. Blake Wheeler to the corner. MacKinnon for Ryan O'Reilly, and back for MacKinnon. Stripped of the puck by Michael Frolik. And now Blake Wheeler on his horse. Wheeler with 2 short-handed goals. Save on the short side by Varlamov. Wheeler stays on it, centers it looking for Gagliardi. Wheeler now to Party. Save made by Varlamov as the period comes to an end with a flurry of short-handed activity by the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, the Jets a lot better in the second half of that period. A great play at the end by Blake Wheeler, that speed, and Adam Party looking to tie it up. As the Jets need to build off that last 10 minutes.
So the shot's 11-6 in favor of the Winnipeg Jets, as they had a very good second half to that period. Thorburn and Cody McLeod had a disagreement. 1-0, 20 minutes done. Avs in front.
Jets on TSN, brought to you by Subway Restaurant. Get your favorite sub made just the way you like it. Subway, eat fresh.
Second period about to get underway. Chris Thorburn in the penalty box for another 55 seconds. Colorado Avalanche on the power play. Tyson Barrie, who has the game's only goal, is their top power play minutes player. Just under 3 minutes per game for him on an average. Zach Redmond, the former Jet, for Duchesne. He's forced wide by Jacob Trouba, who leads the Jets in penalty kill time. Controlled at the line. Nick Holden down for Matt Duchesne. Duchesne in back from a slot shot, and that goes off the stick of Ondrej Pavelec. Takes Pavelec's stick out of his hand, and Mark Stewart is going to hustle to the corner and retrieve the stick for netminder Ondrej Pavelec.
Well, I think it hit the top of the stick, and the shaft probably vibrated in his hand and just took off.
Alex Tanguay in across, looking for Zach Redmond. Redmond to the backboards with Adam Party. Daniel Briere couldn't get a stick on it. To the line for Nick Holden. Out of the penalty box is Thorburn. 2 shots on that power play for Colorado. Battle in the Jet zone. Andrew Ladd trying to jam it up, does, and Brian Little gets to center, and Little will backhand it in. After it goes Thorburn. Varlamov plays it away from him. Nate Gennon turns the puck over. Perreault tees it up, and he went high short side and ripped that over top the net. Back for Landeskog. He got stopped inside the Jets line. Off the boards for Trouba. That was close to going out. Kept in by Gennon. Shot steered away by Pavlik. After it, Perreault. Landeskog. McKinnon in for the Avs. And taken and cleared by Thorburn. Gennon back for it. Perreault is after him. Gennon in the corner gets double teamed, and Scheifele has the puck. Centers for Byfuglien. And he couldn't quite catch up to it. Byfuglien now in the corner on the loose puck. Byfuglien in a battle with Gennon. Gets it for Scheifele. Scheifele takes it to the net. Scores! Matthew Perreault after Scheifele had a couple of whacks at it. And the Winnipeg Jets tie the game. 1-1. And 18th of the year for Matthew Perreault. That ties a career high for him for goals.
Well, Perreault picked up an assist on Scheifele's goal last game, and it started with him on the forecheck. Hard on Gennon. In comes support for Scheifele. A good job with the puck, and then a Perreault on top of Gennon creates the turnover. They just stay on top of the Jets. Good little cycle. Scheifele takes it to net, and then Perreault able to battle off Landeskog, find that loose puck, and he swats it into the back of the net to tie this up at 1.
Landeskog stayed with him, and then Perreault gave him the little deke and beat him back to the side of the net.
Well, he's done a good job at finding those loose pucks and finding a way to score. As you said, ties a career high.
Some guys look a lot different when they take the beard off, and he's one of them.
Well, he looks a lot younger, maybe lighter too.
So Perreault from Scheifele and Byfuglien, and we have a 1-1 tie. At center, Adam Pardy breaks this up. Pardy had to get away from him. Mitchell into the slot. Pavlik to save the rebound. Another whack at it for Mitchell, and now the net is off and a penalty. Coming to the Winnipeg Jets, it is Ben Chiarot that's getting the tap from the referee.
Well, the Avalanche come right back, and now Ben Chiarot will head to the penalty box.
63, minor penalty, hooking.
As Mitchell was coming in. Adam Pardy does a good job forcing, then as he tries to get it, gets bumped off the puck. Puck gets chipped in, goes between Pardy. No gap for Chiarot, the original shot by Mitchell. As he goes for the rebound, Chiarot gets the stick, hooks up Mitchell, and will sit for 2.
Second power play of the game for Colorado. And right off the faceoff, it slides back into the Colorado zone. Jets are 9-5-3 in the Central Division this season, and this is game 2 of 4 straight against Central Division teams, Minnesota and then into Nashville. Nashville winning in a shootout in Florida today. Nate McKinnon into the high slot, plays give and go with Ryan O'Reilly. McKinnon, Rookie of the Year winner in the National Hockey League. Short side shot, McKinnon. Quick shot to the near side, went wide. Landeskog for Iginla, chopped away from him, but it does not clear the zone. Barry for Iginla. For Landeskog. Back for Barry. Near side is Iginla. Landeskog, McKinnon, and it ends up for Iginla. And the shot blocked in front of the net and chopped by Slater back to the Colorado line.
I think that was a big block by Trouba. It was a little slow to get up and makes it back to the bench.
Some great puck movement on that power play there for the Avs. Tanguay for Duchesne, and Duchesne will send it in. Off the sideboards, grabbed off by Blake Wheeler. Winnipeg Jets with 7 shorthanded goals this season. Wheeler carries that into the Colorado zone. Spins it around for Michael Frolik. 5 of those shorthanded goals are on the ice right now. 3 by Frolik and 2 by Wheeler. And as I say that, both go to the bench for the change. Slapped around the boards. After it is Adam Pardy. Pardy gets bumped by Tanguay. Duchesne is there. Ladd is there. And Ladd comes up with the puck. And Andrew Ladd slides it ahead for Brian Little. Little in a foot race now with Redmond. Little dishes it back. Trouba didn't get as much on that as he would have liked. Seemed to go off the toe of his stick and went wide. Power play is over. One shot on that power play for Colorado. Danny Briere plays it around the boards. Everybody piles into the corner. Briere, initially a Phoenix draft pick back in 1996, trying to center it. Duchesne on the wraparound try, and Pavlik got over in time. Enstrom, tight turns to get away from McLeod. Scheifele there to help out, and Scheifele skates it out of the Jet zone. Scheifele jams it through and then gets dumped by Mitchell. And John Mitchell is going to get a penalty. It's going to be a tripping call.
Well, Mitchell's going to go. Scheifele had some speed just barreling up the ice.
Colorado number 7, minor penalty trip.
It's going to be a tripping call on Mitchell as Scheifele just tried to chip the puck ahead. Good speed through the zone. The puck goes by and Mitchell finishes the hit. Little low, trips up Scheifele. Talked about a big block by the penalty kill. Jacob Trouba as Iginla sneaks off to the side. Trouba just getting the shot lane and not only blocks it, gets up right away, shakes it off, and continue to play, no problem.
So you wanted to be a defenseman.
Exactly. You got to pay the price. You got to get in that shot lane, especially if you want to kill penalties.
Byfuglien ahead for Blake Wheeler. He'll tee it up. Oh, that did not miss by much. And there was some room there. Byfuglien. 1-1 tie here in the second period. Byfuglien winds his way in. Couldn't pull the trigger on it. After it, Matthew Perreault. He has the Jets goal in this game. Wheeler cross ice. Little scores! Brian Little. Traffic in front of the net. And the Jets capitalize with the man advantage and take the lead 2-1.
Well, they needed the power play to come through somehow, and it looks like Brian Little. Dustin Byfuglien's parked right in front of the net. He starts this whole rush. Talbot turns it over. Good pursuit by Ladd, Perreault, and then Wheeler covers up at the point, and Little shoots it, and I think Byfuglien gets a piece of this as he's parked right in front. So he starts the rush into the end. He goes to the front of the net, and it looks like he may have got a piece of this as it goes past Varlamov.
It does, as we take a look at the overhead view of that. A winner from Saskatoon, and the Winnipeg Jets have a 2-1 lead. So we'll wait for the official announcement.
Well, that's what you like about Byfuglien, the ability to start the rush, and then he stayed in and went to the front of the net. And a good job, Wheeler, recognizing and covering up.
Adam Pardy back into his own zone. The initial call as of now is Brian Little with his 21st of the year, but they may take another look at that. Adam Pardy ahead for Thorburn. Thorburn wide. Thorburn the wrist shot. Off the leg to the near corner. Thorburn stays on it. Thorburn works it free for Adam Pardy. Pardy through traffic blocked in front of the net. Pardy trying to hold the line, does against McLeod. Thorburn trying to get it to the front of the net. Slater is on it. Slater works it loose. Back in for Michael Frolik, and it got blocked. Adam Pardy in. So Dustin Byfuglien does get the deflection. And for Dustin Byfuglien, goal 13 on the year. And the Jets have the lead. Byfuglien's third power play marker. Varlamov plays this up the boards, and it's chopped back into the Winnipeg Jet zone, and this is going to be an icing call against Colorado.
Well, Brian Little, as they have a little smile, he lets the shot go. There's lots of room, but Varlamov has no idea because he can't see around Dustin Byfuglien, and Byfuglien gets just enough of a stick on there, and can see the reaction of the Avalanche coach, Patrick Roy, not happy.
So Brian Little with the assist, 18 points in 16 career games against the Avs. And now Blake Wheeler with 21 points in this his 14th career game against the Avs. Byfuglien tries that short side. Brian Little continues to lead the Jets in power play points with 14. Jets control with Scheifele, and that was blocked in front of the net. May have hit Byfuglien. And Cody McLeod will dump it down the ice. And icing is going to be called again against Colorado.
Well, the Jets are doing a good job here, just hemming them in their zone. And Dustin Byfuglien, we showed the clip, Varlamov not being able to see as he gets right in front of Varlamov once again, and you can see how hard it is for the netminder to look around as Zach Redmond tries to move Byfuglien, which is pretty much an impossible task.
So with last change, Dustin Byfuglien does get a little more room at home than he does at the road. 11 of his 13 goals have been here in this building. Shot and a good glove save by Varlamov. So the Winnipeg Jets with a couple of goals here in the early part of the second period. And the Jets with the 2-1 lead, and there was the glove save on the knuckler from Bogosian. Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game is Tostitos tortilla chips.
Well, Dustin Byfuglien picks up his 13th goal of the year and always has a smile on his face. He's a guy that has a lot of fun playing the game, shares a laugh with his captain, and his coach Paul Maurice knows that he's going to get a lot of Dustin Byfuglien, whether it is defense or forward, the luxury to move him up front. As much as he'd probably like to put him back there, it certainly fills a big hole they have up front with the ability to move Byfuglien to that right wing position on the second line.
Paul Maurice saying after yesterday's practice, I have liked our last couple of practices. We are getting back to that certain place that we need to be. Landeskog into the Jet zone. He got stopped there by Zach Bogosian. The two goals coming in a span of 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Perreault and then Byfuglien on the power play. And the Jets, after trailing 1-0 after one, have the 2-1 lead. Ryan O'Reilly for Tyson Barrie, back for Ryan O'Reilly, and offside is called at the line. Player profile brought to you by Asante, providing complete financial advice as we look at some of the numbers for Nate MacKinnon.
Well, it was quite the rookie season for him. It's been a little bit tougher this year. You can see the frustration in this game. 9 goals, only 29 points so far this season, and only 1 goal in his last 11 games.
And last time they were in this building, he actually missed some shifts. Patrick Roy was asked about it after the game and just kind of had this puzzling look on his face and said, oh, I must have just lost him in the rotation somehow. Here comes Byfuglien, save Varlamov, rebound, batted out of midair by Perreault, and now that almost leaves the surface. Except Duchesne managed to catch the top part of the glass and keep it on the ice. Perreault is after it. Byfuglien calling for it. Scheifele to Perreault. Trouba was jumping in from the line. Scheifele back into his own zone. Byfuglien with that power play goal. Game 2 of a 3-game homestand for the Winnipeg Jets. Perreault for Scheifele. Cross ice. He was looking for Trouba. Picked off. Here comes Talbot. Talbot across the line, plays it to the front of the net, and a diving play by Scheifele to get in on Briere. To the back post it goes, and Cleach couldn't get a stick on it. Good hustle by Mark Scheifele. Cleach plays it behind the Jets net, taken there by Jacob Trouba.
Well, good job by Scheifele. He's the one who turns it over but gets back to help make up for that mistake.
Dennis Bayak, Shane Knighty, our TSN crew here at the MTS Center. Sarah Orlesky day-to-day with under the weather. We'll leave it at that. And Sarah, get healthy. We'll see you back here on Tuesday. In across the line, it is Everberg. Pulls it back, and Pavlik holding his ground with traffic to the front of the net. Cleared by Patrice Cormier, and back for Jan Hejda. Hejda settles this down in his own end for Zach Redmond. Ahead for Mitchell, and Mitchell will send it in. Sherratt snaps it off the boards out at center for Michael Frolik. Frolik through for Thorburn. That gets batted away. Ryan O'Reilly back for Nate Gennon for Landeskog for O'Reilly. Nate MacKinnon is after it. After him is Slater, centering pass. McKinnon jamming at it at the short side. And Pavlik down and will hang on to it. 9:39 left to go here in the second period. And the Jets are up by one.
Byfuglien already with 1 goal in this game, looking to add to it. It's a turnover in the neutral zone as Scheifele able to pick up the loose puck. Quick 3-on-2 for Winnipeg. Comes to Byfuglien. Duchesne tries to lift his stick but can't. Still gets the shot away. Nice blocker save, and then Scheifele turns the puck over 2-on-1 the other way. He's coming down, but a great back check by Mark Scheifele as he dives back in time to disrupt that puck from getting back to Briere and able to send it behind the net and out of harm's way.
Jets in front. Scheifele with his 8th goal of the year against Chicago on Friday. Dustin Byfuglien with a goal and an assist in this game. And that is Dustin Byfuglien's 7th multi-point game this season. And when Dustin Byfuglien has a multi-point game, the Winnipeg Jets are a perfect 6-0. Back in for Wheeler, for Brian Little. Back for Wheeler, jammed away from him. Ryan O'Reilly. Cross ice for Barrie, up for Landeskog. Back for Tyson Barrie, fanned on the shot. Barrie floats it to the front of the net, deflected wide. Into the high slot, Landeskog for Barrie. Barrie trying to get it to McKinnon. It's too hard for him to handle. Ryan O'Reilly. Centered out front quickly by Landeskog and steered away. This will make its way back into the Colorado zone and will be an icing call against the Jets. Jets on TSN, brought to you by Peoples, Canada's #1 diamond store. Let love shine. Face off to the left of Ondrej Pavlik. Iginla out to take the face off against Little. Little pulls it back for Zach Bogosian. Round the boards, holding the line was Nick Holden. Down for Tanguay, side of the net, stopped by Pavlik. Iginla stays on it. Bogosian bumps there with Iginla. Centering pass off the back of the net, now grabbed off, and Little gets it ahead for Ladd and on for Wheeler. Into the Colorado zone. We mentioned our Safeway winner. Shout out to everyone in Saskatoon. From all reports, a terrific night there on Friday at the annual Kinsman dinner where Gordie Howe was honored. Well done by everyone. Perreault in behind his own at the Colorado net, knocks it away from Holden. Adam Pardy is in from the line. Perreault for Scheifele off his skate. Scheifele spins away from Nick Holden. Scheifele tight turns. Drops it for Adam Pardy. Pardy's shot was blocked by Duchesne. Ahead for Iginla. Scheifele in after Iginla. They bump. Pardy's on the loose puck. Takes it away from Iginla, his old Calgary teammate. Jan Hejda gets it for Zach Redmond. He'll flip it in. Jets in front by a score of 2-1 here in the second period. They were down 1-0 after one. Perreault at 2:04 with his 18th, and Byfuglien at 5:42 with his 13th.
Well, Dustin Byfuglien, Mitchell tried to hit him and went right through him.
And that happened, we talked about the Tyson Barrie hit. After Barrie was bumped and knocked down hard by Byfuglien, John Mitchell was the guy that came in and tried to bump Byfuglien and didn't do that well in the first one and thought he would try it again. Same result.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to go for a third time.
Redmond off the boards, watched by Foley. Spins away to get it out of the way of a check from Thorburn. Sherratt gets the pass quickly for Trouba. Out at center ice, here comes Thorburn. To the front of the net for Slater, rebound, score! Ben Sherratt has his second NHL goal as he joins the rush. 3 of the period for the Jets, and it's 3-1.
Well, no question on this one. There was a little bit on his first NHL goal, whether it was deflected. Well, not on this one. Great play. He started with the reverse in his own end. A quick play. Thorburn, Slater, that middle drive. Great feed by Thorburn to the net. Slater drives through, and joining the rush late, Ben Sherratt comes down untouched and able to put that rebound one into the back of the net for a 2-goal lead for Winnipeg.
So Slater and Thorburn will probably get assists. Of course, they have spent plenty of time together. Slater up in that line tonight in the absence of Adam Lowry, who is out with the flu. Ben Sherratt back into his own zone. Icing waved off. Sherratt knocked his man down. That was Talbot. Cormier's pass got picked off. Sherratt knocked Danny Briere down. Gagliardi's on it. He couldn't get anywhere. Adam Pardy against Cleach. Pardy pulls it around Cleach. Sends it ahead for Cormier. Cormier on for Gagliardi and in. Anthony Peluso, first man in. Jammed away from him by Varlamov. And now Peluso tripped up and a penalty coming to the Colorado Avalanche. As Marc-Andre Cleach will go for tripping Anthony Peluso. Jets in front by a score of 3-1, and Ben Sherratt with his second NHL goal.
In the penalty boxes, Winnipeg will get another power play. It's a good cycle. Peluso trying to move up the boards, gets tripped up as he tries to move, and we're talking about Dustin Byfuglien being physical along the wall. Mitchell tried to hit him. A little push to Cody McLeod. Gets the puck, and then as he goes up, Mitchell comes towards him. Doesn't end well for John Mitchell. Dustin Byfuglien, just a big man. And we've seen how dominant he has been physically this year with a lot of players.
He's having fun.
Oh, yeah.
So the Jets go back on the power play. Byfuglien unloads, and that got blocked. Fourth power play of the game for the Winnipeg Jets. They are 1 for 3. Battle in a corner. Puck is loose. And off the glass and down the ice by Ryan O'Reilly. The Avs have scored 3 shorthanded goals this season. Little force there at center ice. And Dustin Byfuglien will take it back, and there's another penalty coming to Colorado. So Byfuglien is just going to send this down into the Colorado zone. And the Jets will get a 2-man advantage.
Well, it was Hayda stepping up.
2 minutes illegal hit to the head.
Yeah, stepping up on Brian Little. They're going to say this was an illegal hit to the head. Brian Little gets the pass, cutting across the middle of the ice, and Hayda steps up. I don't think he caught Brian Little, but from the angle of the referee, it looks like Little's head snaps back. Doesn't make contact, but the Jets will have a 2-man advantage.
Face-off back just outside the Jets line. They're going to rule that no one from Colorado could have touched that puck for the Winnipeg Jets. They are 0 for 13 this season, 5 on 3. So maybe a good time to end that streak. Perreault for Byfuglien. Down for Brian Little. Back for Byfuglien. Byfuglien stopped in front of the net. Perreault jumps on it. Back for Byfuglien. Cross ice. Ladd plays some give and go. Wheeler back for Byfuglien. Creeps in. Glove save. Semyon Varlamov.
Well, looks a lot better this time. They're moving the puck quick. Little pop-out play in the middle just to alleviate pressure by the Jets. And all starts out of the corner. Winnick snap back to the middle. Back. Quick puck movement. That opened the shot. They want to get it to Dustin Byfuglien. Just allowing Varlamov as he can see that one and able to make the glove save.
The 14th 5-on-3 of the season, by the way, leads the National Hockey League in opportunities. Matthew Perreault. Ryan O'Reilly will face off. Tied up in the face-off circle. Ladd. Make sure Ryan O'Reilly couldn't clear it. Little down for Byfuglien, back for Brian Little, and back for Byfuglien. Matthew Perreault. Cross for Little, one-timer, Varlamov, good save. Little jumps on the loose puck, back for Byfuglien. Byfuglien down for Perreault. Perreault being watched there by Nick Holden. Perreault cross ice to Little, scores! Brian Little. And the Winnipeg Jets have
have they set this up? Byfuglien takes the majority of the shots. They overcommit, and Perreault's able to find Brian Little on the back side of things as Byfuglien comes in, moves it to Perreault. You can see how much O'Reilly's favoring Byfuglien, taking away that pass. That allows Little, nice feed from Matthew Perreault, and just a perfect shot as Brian Little puts it upstairs over the left shoulder of Varlamov as the Jets another power play goal.
4-1, and Brian Little, his 21st goal of the year, leads the Jets in that category. Couple of power play points for Brian Little, give him 15 power play points on the year.
Well, the 5-on-3 comes through, and they looked a lot more confident moving the puck to start that. Byfuglien up top, through from that middle, took the majority of the shots. That helped set up that play that opened the seam to Brian Little.
So a 3-point period for Dustin Byfuglien with a goal and 2 assists. Brian Little a couple of points. And more importantly, the Jets with a 4-1 lead. And icing is going to be called against the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, Brian Little able to score. Thought that might have been his second. He has been good against the Colorado Avalanche, and we all remember the hat trick that he scored here in this building to break that Eric Bolton one that was there for so long. Seen so many 2-goal games from players, and now not only Brian Little, then Matthew Perreault had to take it another step and score 4.
Eric Bolton's going to get a hold of the Colorado Avalanche and say, what are you guys doing to me? Thorburns record against Colorado for most franchise penalty minutes. Brian Little with that hat trick. Zach Redmond across the line with a wrist shot. Save made. Pavlik got the right pad out on the rebound. John Mitchell jumps on the loose puck and back for Tyson Barrie. Barrie opened the scoring in this game. That came back at the 10:57 mark of the opening period. Barrie back in the lineup after missing the last couple because of injury. Long shot in. Pavlik steers that away. Traffic in front as Cody McLeod and Jacob Trouba got all tied up. McKinnon plays it all the way around the boards. Kept in by Barrie. And now Trouba trying to chop it out. Can't. Deflected away from the front of the net. Good play by Toby Enstrom. Stewart is in after the loose puck. And cleared out at center ice. We have not seen Mark Stewart for quite some time here in the second period.
Well, he's still on the bench, but yeah, he has not been on the ice.
As we now have a 5-man rotation. Bogosian out there now with Sherratt. And Sherratt was out with Trouba when he scored his second goal. He has had some shifts here in the second period. 5, but we've not seen him for a while. We'll keep an eye on that side of the net, and Ondrej Pavlik is going to come flying out. And Pavlik will stop this play.
Well, there's a look at Mark Stewart. Seems all right. He's on the bench. We'll wait and see, keep an eye on it. He has missed some time with an injury that he came back from before the break. Then a few games on after the break, he sat out. They wanted to rest him. Paul Maurice wants to get everyone healthy as he looks on here and has to be happy with the way his team played well in that back half of the first period. They really carried on here. A good start to the second, and they haven't looked back.
Talk about 135 goals for Colorado. That is the fewest in the Central Division. Last year they had 4 players in the top 35 scoring in the NHL. They were Duchesne, Landeskog, O'Reilly, and McKinnon. So 4 in the top 35 of the NHL. They have 1 in the top 100 scoring this year. Tanguay, the shot, that went wide. It has been a tough go offensively for the Avs. Got off to the tough start. 3 wins in their first 14 games. Iginla to the short side, deflected by Duchesne. Scheifele's after the loose puck. 90 seconds left here in the second period. Enstrom trying to jam it up the boards. Duchesne is on it. Perreault keeps an eye on him. Bogosian after it behind his own net. Sends it up the boards for Byfuglien. Stopped by Jan Hejda. For Duchesne, jammed away from him. And after it is Enstrom. And he'll send this back into the Colorado zone. Byfuglien and Hayda after it. And Hayda manages to slow Byfuglien down enough. But that allows Semyon Varlamov to jump on the loose puck and hold it.
Oh, good job by Byfuglien just to force that puck down. And Hayda holds him off, but they get it to the net and get that whistle after a little bit of time in their own zone. And Hayda's probably the biggest defenseman for the Avalanche at 6'4", 230 pounds. See, keeps a good angle and body position on Byfuglien.
So Brian Little with 2 points. Brian Little had the overtime winner against Colorado in the first meeting here this season between the two. Then he had the hat trick in the 6-2 Jets win. And then in Colorado was Nate MacKinnon with the overtime winner as the Avs won that one 4-3. Jets in front in this one 4-1. Every game between these two teams last year was a one-goal game. And Mark Stewart back out on the ice for the Jets. Slap shot to the short side, and Ondrej Pavelec will snare that and hang on to it.
Well, just an outside shot. Good job boxing out in front. And Ondrej Pavelec has had a good game. That shot by Tyson Barrie opened up the scoring tonight, but outside that, he's done a good job really pushing everything. All the shots to the corners, out of harm's way. The guys in front letting them see that puck. Scrambles, been able to search, find the puck, get the whistle. So Ondrej Pavelec looking comfortable between the pipes for Winnipeg.
Little wins the face-off. Bogosian around the boards. Blake Wheeler. As it's flipped out of the Jet zone, Wheeler goes after it. Holding for Barrie, stopped by Little at the line, but that's offside against the Winnipeg Jets as Brian Little with a 2-point period.
Well, and he is Mr. Consistent for the Winnipeg Jets, plays so many big minutes for them. And this line, really defensively, is who Paul Maurice looks for. Good example late in this period. Great job by Andrew Ladd coming back into the slot as that centering feed for Iginla able to deflect it out of the zone.
Another face-off win for Little. He took 23 face-offs, Brian Little did, against Chicago on Friday. Won 13 of them, and you're right. Kills penalties, plays power play, takes face-offs. Zach Bogosian checks his stick after he chops that behind the Colorado net. And the second period comes to an end, but a 4-goal second period for the Winnipeg Jets. So the power play connects twice. Matthew Perreault got the Jets on the board. The deflection by Dustin Byfuglien on the power play. Ben Chiarot joins the attack and has his second. And then another power play goal for Brian Little. 4-1 Jets, 40 minutes done. I think Matthew Perreault ties a career high for goals with his 18th. Scheifele, Byfuglien, Dustin Byfuglien on the power play. Little and Wheeler. Chiarot second, Slater and Thorburn. And then Brian Little, his second point of the period, 21 on the year now for Little. That was also in the power play. That was a 5-on-3, the Jets' first 5-on-3 goal this season, and a 3-point period for Dustin Byfuglien. And the fans getting entertained here at the MTS Center. Game 2 of a 3-game homestand. And Dustin Byfuglien doing a lot of the entertaining.
Well, absolutely. Everybody loves to see the goals scored, but here in the third period, it's going to be important for the Jets not to sit back. They have that 3-goal lead, but need to play the same way. Look at Dustin Byfuglien. The ice time, scores the 3 points, and he leads the team in shots on goal this season.
Second 3-point game of the season for Dustin Byfuglien, as the Jets will try and finish this one off and then get ready for Tuesday. The Minnesota Wild, who have won 5 straight. They are 7-1-1 in their last 9, as they have got themselves right back into the race. They are 6 points back of the Winnipeg Jets. They have 3 games in hand, and they will play Vancouver tomorrow at home. Chance for Landeskog, back to the line it goes for Brad Stewart. Plays it around the boards, Ryan O'Reilly. O'Reilly being watched, back to the line for Brad Stewart. MacKinnon couldn't trap it. Tyson Barrie plays this down low, so an early period push here by the Avs. Perreault gets to center and he'll bounce this in wide of Varlamov. Thought we might see Reto Berra here in the third period after Varlamov played last night. Iginla in across the line, tried to fire that to the short side. It's off the leg and cleared back into the center ice area. Although the way Patrick Roy pulls goaltenders when they're down, we might see him go with 6 attackers pretty soon here.
That's true. He's not afraid to get him under the net early.
Bouncing puck at the line for Iginla. Turned over and grabbed off by Scheifele. Speaking of goaltenders, here comes Thorburn. Thorburn with Bufflin! And Varlamov comes across and makes the save. We'll just finish off the Minnesota story. Devan Dubnyk, 4 shutouts in 9 games with Minnesota.
Well, Dustin Bufflin, another great chance, and it's Chris Thorburn with a great feed. He loses control as puck tries to bring it to the backhand. Rolls off his stick. He had Varlamov moving to the left. Good little feed from Thorburn over to Bufflin, but it just rolls off his stick as Varlamov moving all the way to let Bufflin wanted to pull that to his backhand.
Slater, Thorburn, Frolik out for the Winnipeg Jets. Adam Lowry not in the lineup, out with the flu. So Slater in between Frolik and Thorburn, and Patrice Cormier in between Gagliardi and Peluso as Cormier gets his first game of the season. Zach Redmond gets to center and sends this in. Adam Pardy, John Mitchell is after him. Slater down low, Pardy takes the carom. On for Michael Frolik and out the center ice. Turn back in for Zach Redmond. Everberg heads to the front of the net. The pass never got there. Almost a 2-on-1 for Cormier and Peluso. Bounces around at center. Peluso chips it in. And Souvenir as this leaves the playing surface.
Well, Peluso, a little smile on his face, just trying to chip that down into the corner here and keep the pressure on the defense of the Colorado Avalanche, but a little too much air underneath and puts it over the glass on the attempt.
Well, and the gentleman that caught the puck looked over and found the nearest youngster and handed the puck to him. So nice gesture there. Briere inside the line, and offside called against Colorado.
Well, Paul Maurice will look to roll the bench a little bit more here, use his fourth line as much as he can here in this fourth period. They're all around that 4-minute mark, looking to use them a little bit more and save that energy. As mentioned, a huge game. Got to finish this one first, but a huge one against Minnesota coming up.
He said there can't be let-ups in games at this time of the year. Every puck gets contested. There's no lulls in the game, and you're right. They want to finish this one off on a positive note. Peluso, Bogosian, as they look for their first win in 7 games. But on the positive, if they hang on to win this game, it'll be points in 3 straight. Long shot in on Pavlik, but this is called on the offside. And we may not see the pace to this third period that we've seen at points in this game, simply because I think the Jets will try and slow this down as much as they can.
Well, and I'm sure Andre Pavlik, any chance for a whistle, Paul Maurice will tell him, instruct him just to cover it up. Let's bring this to a hole, and when we can, get it deep. Continue to try and play as much of this third period in Colorado's end as you can.
Off the backboards to the front of the net, cleared away. Wheeler sends it out to center ice. Landeskog is in on him, takes Wheeler down. Trouba and Stewart connect, and Stewart sends it in. First man in after it is Brian Little. Little taken to the corner boards by Holden, so some good communication there between Stewart and Brian Little. And Stewart was on his own side of center when he sent that in, and Stewart trying to clear it in, and play gets whistled down.
Well, Paul Maurice done a good job. He's been pretty positive with his club here through this tough stretch. He said coming out of that break, there were parts in the game he said that we still like. What we did the last couple games looking more and more like the way they need to, and he said that's what we're going to accept. As you said, Dennis, it's about good habits each and every game for that full 60.
4 minutes and 25 seconds of ice time for Mark Stewart in that second period. Long shot in there. Varlamov makes the save.
Well, they definitely have slowed the pace down here. It's been whistles galore as Peroja shoots that one from outside the blue line.
Perreault and Duchesne to face off. Sent around the board. Tanguay trying to clear. Came to the side of the net. Varlamov cleared. After it is Perreault. Byfuglien down low to the line. Enstrom was going to pinch and then backs out. And the Avs will carry to center, but Perreault stays with his man, and Enstrom goes back for the puck. Perreault jams it to the line and gets past Redmond. Here comes Scheifele. Scheifele into the slot for Bogosian. And going down to block that was Jan Hejda. Hejda gets up a little sore. Bogosian. Sherratt. His shot got blocked in front of the net, and Iginla slides into center. Sherratt tried to put it back in, put it into the shin pads of Iginla, but it carried him right back to Sherratt, and Sherratt will send it deep.
Well, Perreault, Scheifele, and Byfuglien have had a lot of chances. Thought they played well last game. In this game, again, a nice play as Perreault has a chance in tight on Varlamov.
Sherratt sends it around the boards. Mitchell for Everberg. Everberg to the front of the net, scooped away by Pavlik. John Mitchell intercepts the pass intended for Slater, and Pavlik will make the save on the short side. And now we've got Cody McLeod and Ben Sherratt.
Well, the two of them were battling right in front of Pavlik as McLeod and Thorburn comes in again. The two of them had a dance early in this hockey game.
Well, there will be one more meeting between these two teams. Jets will be in Colorado April 9th.
Well, Matthew Perreault, he's got a goal in this game and a great play. Scheifele down to Byfuglien. Quick play to the front of that as Perreault tries to tip that by, and then Bogosian joins the rush late, and a nice play by Jan Hejda as he goes down for the block, able to get the shin pad on right in front, the odd man rush.
Paul Maurice, Shane telling us before the game, he feels his team plays better when they don't consciously try to create offense.
That's just play on instinct, just
Yes.
read and react in the game.
He said just let it happen. And that's when we play our best. Cormier ahead for Gagliardi, delayed offside. Talbot skates it out for the Avs, stripped of the puck by Gagliardi. And Gagliardi, the former Av, will play it back into the Colorado zone. Lead pass for Briere, stopped by Stewart as the Avs try and stretch out the ice. And here comes Cormier. He'll snap this in. Varlamov stops it. And the Avs will regroup. Marc-Andre Cliche out at center ice. Talbot got bumped on the play. And the loose puck taken by Andrew Ladd. Enstrom. Back for Brian Little, little bit of room, and Little shot goes off a stick and high. Back for Enstrom, the blast from the left point, and into the catching glove of Varlamov, and he'll hang on to it.
Well, continue to put pucks to the net. Toby Enstrom, one of those guys they'd like to see shoot a little bit more. Gets all of that towards Varlamov, who's still facing pucks. I like that the Jets continue to use that offense, and right now everything is directed towards that Avalanche net.
Brian Little with 2 points has 5 goals and 7 points in 4 games this season against Colorado. The hat trick certainly helping the offensive numbers. Another offside. This one against Colorado. The Jets, by the way, are 13-0-1 when they score 4 goals in a game.
Well, that's the record they want, playing with that lead, and especially this time of the year, it's learning to play the right way with a lead.
Andrew Ladd, who had a 3-game point streak snapped against Chicago, has not registered a point in this game. Enstrom stood up at the line. Landeskog and Zach Bogosian came across, got a stick in front of that, and it's up and out of play as we look at Landeskog. We'll take a break. Jets on TSN telecasts. You can win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to a Grand Bahia Principe resort, courtesy of redtag.ca, where Canada shops for great travel deals. Shop at Safeway today. You could be our next lucky winner. Jets pass holders, watch for the Jets Rewards bonus code during tonight's game. Enter the code by logging into Jets Rewards and receive 50 bonus points, redeemable for unique Winnipeg Jets benefits and experiences. Jets Rewards, reward your passion. And there's some passion for us.
Well, congratulations.
Yes. 14:38 after 40 minutes for Jacob Trouba and Toby Enstrom. In ice time, Zach Bogosian just under 14 minutes. Zach Bogosian 27-13 against Chicago. For the second straight game, he had led the Jets in ice time. Shot off the faceoff by McKinnon, turned away by Ondrej Pavelec. Andrew Ladd gets to center ice and sends it deep where Ryan O'Reilly will give chase. Ryan O'Reilly, an NHL game 399. 28 goals for him last year. He sits on 10 so far this season, as does Landeskog, who had 26 last year. Little, his 21st of the year earlier in this game. Ladd for Wheeler, and he'll slip this in, and again some frustration from Nate McKinnon as he makes his way to the Avs bench.
Well, you mentioned the frustration. Those are all young players that are struggling. O'Reilly 24, Landeskog 22, McKinnon still only 19.
Here comes Iginla to the front of the net, redirect score! Off of Matt Duchene. And it catches the short side, and it is a 4-2 game here in the third.
Well, it's a simple 2-on-2 play. Good coverage, but a feed from Iginla to the middle. Duchene streaking. He gets enough of this just to change the direction. As Iginla down the side. Trouba's got coverage, but does not take the stick. Does not lift the stick. Duchene gets the stick down. Nice feed from Iginla. And there's the redirect right between the pads of Ondrej Pavelec.
So 14 on the year for Duchene. Turned over, and Scheifele ripped that one high. Perreault back for Scheifele. As the Avs pull to within 2 with plenty of time. Here comes Duchene. In against Jacob Trouba. And Perreault takes over. Perreault sends it ahead for Trouba. On for Byfuglien. In for Scheifele. Back for Byfuglien. Back for Scheifele. To the backboards with Redmond. For Byfuglien. Byfuglien dishes off at the line for Adam Pardy. Pardy will take it down low. Scheifele to the front of the net. Pardy out front, a redirect off a skate. And grabbed and cleared into the center ice area. Back for it, Chris Thorburn. Jets are changing, Avs are changing. John Mitchell. Watched by Sherratt. Avs control at center. Redmond tried to get it to Mitchell. It was away from him. Adam Pardy gets to the red line. Gets it inside the line. Mitchell. And now we've got the gloves off between Thorburn and McLeod for a second time in this game. They went at it in the opening period, and this is round 2 and round 3 in 2 games for Chris Thorburn.
Well, these are 2 guys that play a very similar role on both teams. And McLeod was physical, a couple big hits, took a run at Froley. They came together a couple times, couple discussions, and eventually they just decide as both look exhausted. This is where it all began as McLeod hit Froley. Discussions began after that. They came together, took a run at Pardy.
Shane, how tiring is that?
Oh, it's exhausting, especially at that point in the shift. Both of them had been out for a little bit of time. And then some extended time tussling. It could feel like you just had a little bit of an end of practice skate as Patrick Roy looks on. And the Avalanche with a little bit of momentum at this point. That Duchene goal's gotten their bench up. And Cody McLeod, earlier in the game, his fight led to the goal by Barrie, but Patrick Roy upset right now. Not sure if he thought there should have been an additional penalty to Chris Thorburn.
So McLeod and Thorburn to the penalty box. Cody McLeod out of Binsgard, Manitoba, played 4 years in the Western Hockey League with the Portland Winterhawks. Slater out to take the face-off to the near side boards. Everberg tied up with Froley. And Max Talbot takes it on the far side. In for Everberg. Dennis Everberg, the wrist shot went wide. Taken by Slater back into his own zone. Adam Pardy for Ben Sherratt. Sherratt will lift this out to center. Taken by Frolik. His pass was in behind Slater. Delayed offside against the Jets. And now grabbed off by Zach Redmond. Redmond with over 20 minutes of ice time in each of his last 2 games as the Avs banged up on the back end a little bit. John Mitchell, cross ice pass, blocked by Slater, or Stewart rather, and taken on to Wheeler and then on to Little. Little at center, gets to the Avs line no further. Brad Stewart right back in for Colorado. And offside called at the Jets line.
Well, Nate MacKinnon was just a little bit ahead of Stewart as he was trying to come up, and MacKinnon has had a couple points in this game, banged his stick on the ice, banged it on the boards. And the frustration after being Rookie of the Year last year, 9 goals this season.
There is some firepower on this Avs team.
Oh yeah, and
we can talk about their struggles offensively this year, but they are very capable of putting pucks in nets. And go back to last year, they got off to the 6-0 start. They were 12-1 in their first 13 games and rode that to a title in the Central Division. Ryan O'Reilly back in against Zach Bogosian. Waiting for Toby Enstrom to the line, but not out. It bounced away from Stewart. Ryan O'Reilly backs up Brad Stewart. So the Avs with some control here in the Jet zone. Holden in the corner, watched by Brian Little. Landeskog to the front of the net, tipped away by Ladd as that was intended for Ryan O'Reilly. Ladd for Wheeler. Wheeler pulls the trigger and fires to the short side, save made. Cleared cross ice, Wheeler's there to pick it off. Wheeler into the high slot for Scheifele. Scheifele on the backhand looking for Ladd. Wheeler is on it. To the blue line for Trouba. In for Stewart. And the shot by Mark Stewart stopped by Varlamov. Into the slot. And Perreault couldn't control it. Trouba unloads, deflected by Scheifele high. Wheeler took a whack at it. It was tipped away from him. Long shot by Mark Stewart, and that gave Varlamov some trouble. Cleared to the line. Knocked down at center by Byfuglien. Back for Scheifele. Scheifele got bumped by Stewart. Byfuglien is after it with a Ginla. Byfuglien. As the Jets go back to the offensive attack here. Byfuglien a bouncing puck, and it bounces out the center for Duchesne. He couldn't handle it. Back up Perreault for Scheifele. Scheifele on the offside. Drives the net. Drops to Perreault. In cross ice. Jacob Trouba scores. Wow, a little bit of tic-tac-toe. Jacob Trouba has his 6th of the year and a big goal that regains the 3-goal lead.
Doesn't get much prettier than that. A little passing play for the Winnipeg Jets, but it starts with a good back check, coming back through the neutral zone and creating a turnover as Duchesne Byfuglien with pressure from the back. Stewart with a good gap. Perreault, quick play, and Scheifele holds off Barrie. Good vision finds Perreault, and Perreault finds Trouba all alone as he taps it in. Just great passing, Matthew Perreault. A beautiful tap pass over to Trouba, who has an empty net to tap that into.
What a pass by Matthew Perreault.
He just has such good vision. The ability to make a play and see things before they're there.
3-point game for Matthew Perreault as Jacob Trouba gets his 6th goal of the season. And Mark Scheifele with another assist.
Well, it's been that line. Those guys have been in on everything. Perreault, Scheifele, Byfuglien.
So the Jets with the 5-2 lead. Tyson Barrie, who opened the scoring in this game back in the opening period, sends it down low. Slater sends it around the boards. There was a couple of shifts where the Avalanche had some pressure, and then the Jets went back on the attack. Jammed up the boards by Michael Frolik. Jerome McGinley back for it. For Tyson Barrie, McGinley with 16 goals on the year leads the Avs. Right in behind him, Duchesne now with 14. Dangerous move there by Barrie, but he got around Ladd, but he couldn't get around Wheeler. Back for Ladd. Ladd pulls it. Varlamov to save. Little is in looking for a rebound. McGinley. Cross ice, and now 8 minutes left to go here in the third period. Ben Sherratt gets to center, off a stick and in. Cleared away by Varlamov. Mitchell banks it out to center, and back forward is Mark Scheifele with a 2-point gain for him. Scheifele, cross ice pass. That was into the skates of Dennis Everberg. Sherratt, who has a goal in this game for Perreault, in for Scheifele. Scheifele takes it wide, and John Mitchell stays with Scheifele and takes him to the backboards with some velocity. Byfuglien trying to get around Mitchell, does for Scheifele. Back for Byfuglien. Byfuglien on the wraparound try, and Varlamov the save. And now Byfuglien steps into Everberg on the far side. And Mark Stewart makes sure that Danny Briere wasn't going to be able to make that pass. So Jacob Trouba on a beautiful pass from Matthew Perreault makes it 5-2.
Byfuglien and Matthew Perreault have been really good. Perreault makes so many good plays. Neutral zone, buys time, just a little chip play. Recognize Scheifele coming with support and with speed, but it's those little plays he knows to make and can make. He's had himself a 3-point night, a goal, 2 assists. The support getting a little comfortable this line is Dustin Byfuglien. Everybody wants him back on defense, but right now looking very good and building some real good chemistry here with Perreault and Scheifele. This is the second game in a row that line and those 3 guys have really stood out. They were creating last game, and tonight they've not only created, they've found a way to get it to the back of the net.
Well, as Byfuglien said the other night, as long as I've got a stall in a National Hockey League dressing room, I'm happy.
Oh, that's true.
But there's no doubt, I think he does prefer the back end. Now there's been 5 power plays for the Jets, so he's had some power play time on the point. Although the goalie scored on the power play, he was down in front for a deflection. Andrew Ladd back into his own end. Nice outlet pass for Little and on for Wheeler. Wheeler gets it out of harm's way. Wheeler in a race now with Stewart. And Brad Stewart, the former Regina Pat, got back, and Brad Stewart, a runner-up in the Calder Trophy back in '99. Lost it to Scott Gomez. Landeskog back to the line for Barrie and back for Landeskog. Quickly on him is Enstrom, and it's jammed out to center ice by Scheifele. And now back in and touched by McKinnon, offside called against Colorado.
Well, good speed. Mark Scheifele, Paul Maurice said one of those things, moving his feet. When he's skating, the game's a lot easier. Plays happen quicker for him. And it's tough for a young player when you're trying to find that consistency in your game. But Mark Scheifele's really looked good here. A lot quicker on the ice. Things are happening. Moving the puck quicker, shooting it quicker, getting his shot away.
At center for Zach Redmond, and Redmond will fire this in. Andrew Ladd does continue to lead the Winnipeg Jets in scoring, although Brian Little with the 2 points tonight has moved to within a point of him. Here comes Matthew Perreault, very in pursuit, and Perreault shot it wide, and there was plenty of room on that glove side. Scheifele steals in front for Perreault, and he had his stick tied up, the lead pass, and Stewart gets back to break it up as the Avs tried to spring Alex Tanguay. Back for Byfuglien. Byfuglien has to wait now. Thorburn clears the zone, and the Avs will regroup.
That line could have a couple more tonight, Dennis.
Boy, they've been good. Here comes Mitchell. John Mitchell trying to get it to Nick Holden, picked off by Frolik. Michael Frolik with Thorburn headed to the front of the net. Drops it back for Adam Pardy. Pardy loses it against the checking of John Mitchell. Pardy hustles back. There's the floating pass ahead for Cody McLeod. He'll go to the short side, and that got stopped by Pavlik. Back in for Mitchell. Mitchell swings it to the short side. Off Cody McLeod, sticking wide. Everberg is after it. Penalty coming up to the Winnipeg Jets. Avs now with 6 attackers. Barrie plays it back. It comes out to center ice. Hayda will leave it there for McKinnon. The Avs regroup. We may see Varlamov stay on the bench on this power play. Centered out front for Ryan O'Reilly. It's deflected away. And play whistle down. Colorado will get its third power play of the game when we come back.
Michael Frolik will sit down for the Winnipeg Jets. He takes a holding as he reaches out on Tyson Barrie. One hand, just a little bit of a grab and a little bit of a hold. And he'll go back, and Matthew Perreault, good play. Buffalo pokes it free. Perreault all alone, tries to hold off Barrie, who gets back, runs a little bit of interference. But Matthew Perreault, goal and 2 assists already in this game. Him along with Dustin Byfuglien could probably at least have each one more goal, if not 2, as they have had opportunities tonight.
Matthew Perreault has been a very good fit here in Winnipeg. Coming over from Anaheim. He has tied his career high for goals with 18. Well, Scheifele line is combined for 2 goals and 8 points.
Well, there's Varlamov, Dennis. You're right. He's getting ready to head to the bench here after the faceoff.
Had a conversation with Patrick Waugh, and basically, I think it was, if we win this faceoff, you're coming. As the Avs get their third power play of the game, and they do control off the draw, and there goes Varlamov. So 6 attackers by the Avs. Slap shot, Pavlik to save, and that drill from McGinley. McGinley at the line for Landeskog. Landeskog for McKinnon. McKinnon watched by Stewart, 6-on-4. McKinnon for Ryan O'Reilly. Back for McKinnon. Ryan O'Reilly off this backside. McGinley at the line. Back for McKinnon. Watched by Stewart. McKinnon, the shot to the short side wide. Barrie tracks it down for Landeskog. Tied up by Stewart. Ladd to the line, and it gets off the stick of McGinley and out. And the Jets will squeeze in a line change. Barrie for Landeskog. Landeskog tied up by Jacob Trouba. And out to center ice it goes. Wheeler on the forehand at the empty net. Off the glove of McGinley. 1 minute left in the power play. McKinnon. 9 goals on the year. Carries it in. Hardy got a piece of him. Tyson Barrie holds it in. Everberg tried to center it. Blocked by Zach Bogosian. Bogosian and Party, along with Wheeler and Scheifele, on the penalty kill for the Jets. And they are killing off some valuable time back there. Bogosian and Party are. And now Bogosian knocked his man down. That was Landeskog, and Landeskog and Bogosian are nose to nose.
Well, they had a battle. They're still talking as they go. Bogosian's still calling him.
Don't say what he's calling him.
No.
Briere. Around the boards, Bogosian. And Briere now in the battle. Power play is over. 1 shot on that power play. Back in front of the net. Sharp angle. Score! So just as the power play ended, the Colorado Avalanche, with their net empty, have made it a 2-goal game again.
Well, Alex Tanga, he leads this team in points, and he's able to cut into the lead. Varlamov probably will go back to the bench very shortly, but the Jets don't get it out. A battle in the corner. Bogosian gets outnumbered. It's 3 guys, gets poked out. Gagliardi can't get it. A little play. McLeod over, and it finds its way back. A nice play by Duchesne as everybody bites for Duchesne, thinks he's shooting. Stewart goes for the block, and Tanguay all alone, able to slide it into an open net.
Well, Tanguay's 14th of the year, and Patrick Waugh is not even going to wait for the Avs to get the draw. Well, Varlamov will stay on the bench. Stewart gets it out to center ice. No further. Cleared right back in. Briere in on the forecheck. Cleared up the boards and back into the Colorado zone where Iginla will go after it. Andrew Ladd falls. That makes some room for Iginla. Iginla winds his way in. The shot save made by Ondrej Pavlik on the shot from Jarome Iginla. So no quit here in this Avs team.
No, and their coach, you could say their coach is sending a message without the goalie in the net, as they have had a lot of success with whoever it is, usually Varlamov on the bench, and having those late goals.
Still 1:59 left to go here in the third period. And Patrick Waugh, does he want a timeout? Yes, he does. And now it does get called.
Well, he's trying to wait, give as much rest as he can to his players as he'll grab the whiteboard and try and draw up the right execution to pull his club within one. It has been entertaining, and he talked about no quit by this Avalanche team. It's going to be up to the Jets here to finish it off the right way. You go to face-offs, how important they are.
Well, let's see who he has scoring the goal here.
Well, Iginla would be the guy they want to shoot right at the top of the circle, and you can see everyone else heading towards the net. One guy will roll off.
That's pretty good.
Well, a lot of dots and lines afterwards. I caught it for the first part.
Face-off will be in the Jets zone. There's no doubt these two teams have provided some entertainment over the last couple of years. Every game, all five last year, a one-goal game. And the Jets winning in overtime here earlier this year. Avs winning in overtime in their building. The other one was 6-2. That's the night that Little got the 3 goals. Little and O'Reilly to face off. Ryan O'Reilly 62%. Brian Little 54%. Stewart, as it's cleared up the boards, and Andrew Ladd going after it, but Iginla first back after it. It was the Avs that sent it back, so no icing. Iginla. Lead pass for Nathan MacKinnon. MacKinnon goes cross ice. Ryan O'Reilly dishes it off for Landeskog. Landeskog in front of the net, and alone was Everberg, and he slipped it wide as Everberg got in behind everyone. Jammed up the boards. Ladd blocked there by Stewart, kept in by Ryan O'Reilly. Shot that got blocked by Jacob Trouba. Ahead for Wheeler at the empty net, and Landeskog dives to knock Wheeler down and clear the puck. Controlled by the Avs. Wasn't that supposed to be a penalty this year? Jerome Iginla to the short side. Save made.
Well, that was supposed to be the mandate. Whether going for the puck or not, you trip the player, it's the penalty. But before that, a great feed by Landeskog to Everberg in front, who seemed surprised by it, just overskated a bit, tried to reach back against the grain. Here's the play we're talking about as Wheeler goes. Good hustle by Landeskog. He gets the puck. Trips up Blake Wheeler in the process. No call as Paul Maurice look on. Another face-off of the Jets' end.
That's what Paul Maurice was telling the referees. That is supposed to be called this year. Off the face-off, it is clear for Dustin Byfuglien. Byfuglien at the empty net. Just wide. We're into the final minute. Scheifele is after it. Scheifele with Redmond after him. And Duchesne plays it behind his own net, taken away by Perreault. Perreault for Scheifele, tried to get it to the front of the net, does, but it's grabbed off and back for the Avs. Tanguay sends it in. And it'll be Pavlik playing it around the boards. Byfuglien gets it out to center ice. Scheifele goes after it. Scheifele with Perreault open on the near side. And a good play defensively by Zach Redmond. Now Wheeler to the front of the net. That's off a stick. But the Winnipeg Jets will snap a 6-game winless skid. They will now have points in 3 straight games as they get back into the win column and pick up a big 2 points on the season. 64 points now for the Winnipeg Jets on the year.
Well, a big win for Winnipeg. They needed to feel victory again, able to do it and do it in a timely fashion against a division rival. Now they need to do it against another one in Minnesota next.
And Minnesota 6 points back with games in hand. 3-point night for Dustin Byfuglien. 3-point night for Matthew Perreault. And the fans loving it here at the MTS Center as the Jets win it over Colorado. Good night from Winnipeg.